My name is Tommy. Today is Saturday, May 21st, 2022, and it is opening weekend of the 2022 season at Valleyfair. My second year covering the park throughout the summer. I did about 9 videos last year. I don't know if I'm going to quite do that many this year, but we will see. I'll be covering basically everything that's new today to the park for the 2022 season, which isn't a lot, just a lot of general kind of maintenance, upkeep type things. First thing though, a very large portion of the parking lot got repainted. I should say repaved. Basically from those flags you can see over to still Venom, then all the way back to the entrance, so a very significant portion. It is something at least. Okay, now I'm gonna go inside. And I'm in. Wild Thing seems like the right choice for a good first ride of the day. First ride of the season, I should say. Looks like they're still doing the Minnesota East thing again this year, but it's almost noon and it's not yet open. Looks like they have the signage up for Lucky's 13 Pub, which was the first restaurant in the rotation in the 2021 Valleyfair season, so let's see if this opens up today. Hopefully my favorite stand in the entire park opens up later today. First ride of the day is going to be Wild Thing. Doesn't look like a very long wait at all. Also, there used to be a Dippin' Dot stand there. Now they have a new little seating area constructed. Bit of a new walkway constructed, it looks like, as well. You can tell over there where it morphs back into the old walkway. New walkway. The awnings over the photo booth have definitely seen better days. They've been looking more and more faded every year.
Oncoming riders, welcome to Wild Thing. When the gates open, please...
About a 15-minute wait. Back rows of bus row.
All clear. All clear means to go down. This was separate. You know, tight meetings around. Wild Thing. Oh, yeah.
Always a great way to start a Valleyfair trip. Hey, they're playing Foo Fighters on the speakers. Water park opens up next weekend. Looks like they're just kind of getting some slides ready. Various workers walking around. And they don't have quite the coverings left on these poles. R.I.P. Looping Starship. Its former home is still pretty much the exact same landscaping it was all last season, so hopefully they don't wait too many years to utilize this as part of water park expansion, because it's kind of an obvious way to utilize the property. A water park needs an expansion plot, and well, this is it right in front of you. This is very much new for this year. Last year was Nordic Waffles, but I don't think it was ever open last year. I know there's some issue with Nordic Waffles or what, but good to see at least something open in this spot. Just a quick look at the menu. Not a whole lot to it, but at least there's something open here. And now, best ride in the park. Line goes all the way out to the middle of the tunnel. Another 15-minute wait, another back row ride.
all clear going out of here, so set everybody want to charge over Renegade.
Ride photo booth is not open today. Still the best ride in the park. Still best in the back row. This tunnel will always be one of my favorite places in the entire park. Just so homey down here. Thunder Canyon certainly isn't open on a day like today. High in about the mid-50s. That little strip of wood right there looks pretty new. Time for one of the more unique roller coasters you will see. As almost always, the line basically begins in the station. There's no real queue to this ride. Always a walk-on. About the very center of the train. It's now around 1:30. The Cheese on a Stick stand is still yet to open, so I will not be expecting it to open at any point today. Now I'm going to ride High Roller and check out its brand new paint job. About as white as it ever has. So lift hill over there. Also, this is a new seating area. Still fresh concrete and everything. It's like a little bit of a wait. We will see. You can even see lots of white paint remnants in the queue.
Oncoming riders, welcome to High Roller. When the gates open, please enter your train quickly.
Just under 30 minutes, second to the last row. Rides pretty well for a nearly 50-year-old roller coaster. Never saw this shaved ice stand last year. I also haven't seen one Dippin' Dot stand throughout the entire park, which makes me think they probably removed them. This is new for 2022. Brand new bar. Back in the day, this was a Cheese on the Stick stand, but it has not been that for many, many years now. Clearly they did a new concrete layout here. Looks a little fancy. And here's their menu for today. Not a whole lot to it. A few snacks and a few drinks. And here's the entrance to the former Dinosaurs Alive. Currently it's a catering / event type building. Hopefully they take this stuff out and do something a little bit better with it, because they got a lot of land back there to work with. This Dippin' Dot stand is still here though. The only one I've seen in the park so far, unless there's one down by Steel Venom. That's the only place in the park I have not walked yet. I have not seen North Star run once today. If I were to take a guess, especially considering they're letting some guests in the queue to wait around, in fact that it is a little windy, I would have to assume it's probably a little bit too windy for it to operate currently, and perhaps the wind will calm down, but I would not hold out hope. So there still is a Dipnot stand back here. So we got 2 of them in the park, right here next to the Ripcord. North Star Antique Autos, I'm sorry, Northern Lights, and Delirious Steel Venom. Gotta get Steel Venom in. Yeah, it says only a 15-minute wait, but might be a little bit longer than that. Maybe 20, 25, based on my estimations on the length of the line. Not too long. I always do this thing where when I park at Valleyfair, I try to park somewhere where I can see my car from the Steel Venom queue. I don't know. Just a thing I do. Just over 40-minute wait. Waited extra for the back. Back row is the best row.
Ball, clear, launch in 3, 2, 1.
Still extremely happy to see that holding brake on the rear spike still working very, very well. I think this is the only Intamin impulse roller coaster in the entire country with the holding brake still functional. Not that there's a whole ton of these around the country. I think there's only 4, maybe 5. But yeah, this is still a great ride. Hey, so they are running this ride now. I'm not really willing to give it a shot because that's a long enough line and I don't really want to go through the risk of, you know, it getting shut down due to weather conditions, which would be wind in this case. Yeah, it is well after 3 o'clock and this place still is yet to open, so pretty safe to say it won't. Quite a few food service locations throughout the park closed today. Though to be fair, it makes sense. It's really not that busy of a day. I mean, a high of 55 on a Saturday, this is what you get. I know Valleyfair advertised that the Coach's Drive-In was recently modeled on the interior, so I'm going to check that out quick. It looks sort of remodeled. I don't know, if I didn't know it was remodeled, I might not have think it was. Honestly, I'm still in doubt that it was actually remodeled, quite frankly, now that I'm looking at it with my own eyes. Oh well. Maybe it just had to do with those back walls, and the remodeling had to do with more of the food service capabilities of the establishment rather than something the diners would see. I don't know. Just giving Valleyfair the benefit of the doubt. The Extreme Swing did eventually open today, but they're only running the far arm, which creates a bit of a wait. Typically with a full queue and both arms running, I would estimate this at around a 30-minute wait. But considering we only have one arm running, not quite a full queue, I'd put it closer to 45 or give or take, so not quite worth it for me on this trip. But this is my absolute favorite flat ride in the entire park, so I'll prioritize this for my next trip. Not sure how I failed to notice this Dippin' Dot stand in the park earlier today, but this one isn't open either, so that's 0 for 3 on Dippin' Dot stands throughout the park. And one new shaved ice stand. This ride is always worthy of a repeat, even though it's built up quite a bit more of a line than I had earlier today. Still probably going to wait less than I just did for Steel Venom. Yep, backed all the way up to here. Let's see how long it takes. It's under a 40-minute wait. Front row this time.
All clear.
I did.
And with that all clear, that means you guys out of here. So sit upright, hold on tight, and enjoy your ride on Renegade. Yeah!
As I make my way outside of the park, I completely forgot this place existed. You know, it used to be called Atomic Pizza back in the day, but it's been a drink stand for a while. I think this was newly turned into an alcoholic drink stand last year, perhaps? Maybe a couple years ago. Anyways, looks to have a similar menu as the Superior Bar by the Superior stage over by Planet Snoopy, but I don't know if they're gonna have both bars at once or if they're gonna get rid of this or what they're gonna do, but it'll be something to keep an eye on. Pretty sure I recall seeing the same food truck at Valley Scare last fall. In either case, it seems like Valleyfair tends to rotate these food trucks throughout their park throughout the season. I feel like I see the same 2, 3, 4 different food trucks. But here's a look at the menu. And also, Riptide RIP. I don't know how many years it's been, but clearly they still don't seem to have a plan for this site. I really don't want to see the former site of Looping Starship turn into the same thing. But stuff like this just kind of depresses me. I hate to see parks take stuff away and not have anything to replace it with for a very extended period of time. Based on the people congregated at North Star inside the queue and the people loaded up on the ride, pretty safe to assume they've been able to run this fairly consistently for a little while, I would assume. Good to see. And that is it for today. Another great day at Valleyfair. Good to get back in the park. Good to see summer kind of on its way, though today did not feel the slightest bit like summer, about mid-50s. Last year I remember being here and it was about 30 degrees warmer and a whole lot sunnier than it is today. Got some sun earlier in the day, but then the clouds have been kind of hanging out for a while now. I'm going to kind of keep track of what type of food service location I see open throughout the summer. I might only make one visit a month throughout the summer because I do have travel plans to New Orleans and possibly Chicago. So to see how everything fits in. Grand Carnival, I believe, is June 25th through July 10th. So I'm going to try to make a visit for Grand Carnival and see how it is. Hopefully it's better than last year, but I won't be expecting a ton from that, to be quite blunt. But thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.